Well, first of all, as you want me to, we're going to focus on supply and demand, but of course, for beta gassy topic. So let's see. Uh, okay, what we need again. So I want to talk about first. I want to talk about the definition. Okay, so of supply and demand here. And why, I want to explain why they're important. So let's talk about them. Okay. First of all, the definition of the first one. Supply. What is this? The quantity of a product. Or maybe it's not only about product or a service that producers are willing and able to sell at given price. So that is the quantity of a product or service that producers are willing to and maybe able to
Exactly about.
sell at a given price. Okay. Now, demand. So what is this one? The quantity of product or service that consumers are willing and able to buy at a given price. So exactly the same, but the quantity of a product or service that consumers are willing or able to buy at um, a given price. Well, so you know this. Why they're important? Actually, they are important because they determine prices and the quantity of goods available in the market. So they both play really important role in prices and the quantity of goods available in the market. For example, I want to give you an example. If more people want the latest smartphone, like high demand, so if more people want the latest smartphone, that is high demand, okay? And the company can only produce uh, a limited number. That is low supply. Okay, what will happen? The price will rise. Yeah? Why they're important? Because of this. Okay. Now let's say if you want to explain it with example, okay? So for example, we have law of demand, law of supply. So we need to talk about that. And of course, some examples that we need to talk about. For example, the first one, we have law of demand. Do you have any idea about it?
No, mm,
Of course, you
because I
should.
haven't here.
Of course, I'm not sure where these questions come from, but okay, Alex. Okay, so it's good.
Because
It's really
because in the next lesson we'll study about this.
really great. So you
Yeah,
will be
yeah.
happy because you have some information about it. That's good. You're cheating. Okay. So, it's okay.
Oh,
Well, so let's see. What is
oh,
law of demand? As price decreases, demand usually increases, vice versa. So, law of demand is as price uh, decreases, demand usually increases, and vice versa. Like we say, as price increases, demand usually decreases. Example, let's see. Let me give you a good example. Ah, if movie tickets, okay, drop from, for example, uh, $15 to $8, more people will go to the cinema. Agree? You see, it's so
yeah,
easy.
yeah,
Okay, there is my M. Okay, okay. The second one is law of supply. What is this? Okay. Now it says, as price increases, producers are willing to supply more. So, as price increases, producers are willing to supply more. Okay, so how? For example, if the price of maybe wheat, so like something, okay, maybe this one is good. We can say if the price of prices of wheat rise, what will happen? Farmers may plant more wheat to sell, right? Potato, tomato. So whatever. When the price rise, of course, farmers tend to plant more because they want to make more profit. So this is law of supply. Yeah.
yeah,
And now we have another point that is supply equals demand. For example, if 100 smartphones are produced and 100 are wanted by consumers, so 100 are produced, 100 people want these actually mobile smartphones. Then we say actually supply equals demands. So that is the meaning of, we have another one, the point where uh, supply equals demand. Okay. For example, just think about COVID-19. Yeah. As you
yeah,
remember, so like everything, high demand, shortage, prices increased. So do you remember everything? For example, I don't know, like, we have uh, vaccines or everything like different products, so like medicine, as you remember at that period, do you remember it was like high demand because of COVID and shortage, lack of medicine. What happened? Price increased. So this is a real life example of supply and demand, the importance. So in conclusion, I want to say that um, it's really important. Just if you want to write an essay, that is really important. First, you need to understand supply and demand helps businesses. How? Actually, they affect pricing strategies. Okay. And of course, it's really important. So when you want to write your essay, for example, you want to write an essay about it. Okay. How to write it? First of all, you need an introduction, right?
yeah,
What you need in your into what you write, you define supply, you define demand as I just wrote, okay? And explain why they are important, as we just discussed. And after that, of course, don't forget to give some examples. After that, you have your body paragraphs. Again, you can divide. For example, you can discuss love, demand, love, supply, okay? And of course, equality, and then give a real life example. Then you can finish your essay with a conclusion. What is this? Like relationship between supply and demand. Recap it again. And of course, you need to highlight its impact on businesses and consumer. How? Give example. So, for example, how it helps, how it affects pricing strategies. Okay. And that's it. This can be your essay. Actually, it's really easy. Now, okay, tell me, do you have any questions now?
no, no, but I have the point where supply equals demand, so the price will be what the average point or what the price, because I want to know the price, what is it effect from this supply and demand
Ah,
strategy.
you want to say that where when supply equals demand, how it affects pricing?
Yeah, yeah,
Of
yeah.
course, let's talk about this. Actually, this one is a really good question because for this one, we can say, okay, sorry, okay, well,
Mhm.
demand. How much consumers want a product? Of course, it's different prices. And then, of course, we have supply. Now, as you said, supply equals demand. So we can say that the price at which the quantity demanded equals the quantity supplied. Effect on pricing, how is, for example, if the market price is above it, like supply more than demand, prices tend to fall. If the market price is below it, okay, like demand more than supply, okay, it's shortage.
Mm.
It leads to shortage. Prices tend to rise. We can say that it's a self-correcting mechanism. You know how goods are sold at a fair market price. So it's a self-correcting mechanism. Why? Because actually it ensures goods are sold at a fair market. Yeah, get it?
But what we call what we call when the supply equals demand. What we call in English the price at the point where
Oh, the word, yeah,
yeah
the word
yeah
equilibrium.
yeah
Equilibrium. So let me write it here.
no
So what do you want to know? Do
uh,
you want to know the word? That's point. Equilibrium
I want
is
to
the point where supply and demands are equal. So let me write it here for you because you need to know.
so
And then I can, yeah,
yeah, yeah. So at that point what does the price call
say again, please. I couldn't hear you.
um the word that refers to the price at the equilibrium point. What is it called?
I can't catch. Okay, let me say something. Let me clarify this. So when you say that is the word, this one, equilibrium, equilibrium is the word that means demand and supply are equal. So now let me explain. Let me use it this way. Okay, so you can understand it better. For example, you ask me about its effect on price. Yeah, I can say, uh, when when the price, okay, the market price is above equilibrium, okay, means supply more than demand. Then what happens? Prices tend to fall. So if the price, this is the word that you need. We have no other word. This is the word that we use. If the market price, the market price, okay, is above equilibrium, okay, it's above equilibrium. That is supply, okay, more than demand. What happens? Actually, prices tend to fall. Now, if the market price, okay, is below, is below equilibrium, that is demand more than supply, what will happen? It cause shortage. So prices tend to rise. Get it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So we
yeah.
say, okay, so we say equilibrium price, the price at which quantity demand equals quantity supplied in the market. Okay? So we say some people, if I want, let me make it a little clear. Uh, some people call it as a market clearing price. Market clearing price, that is equilibrium. Why? Because actually that is fair market. Okay. Now, okay, do you want me to explain how changes in supply and demand affect the equilibrium price?
No, I understand. You can continue. The
Why you
market
want?
clearing.
Yes. Okay, now what do you want to
Yeah,
know?
you can continue the market trailing
S-
market. um,
Okay.
Yeah,
Say. Okay, let me ask you a question.
you,
So you understood. So I want to ask you, give me an example. You want an example? Okay, so because you understood. So now, okay.
so
Yeah, because that's
the
really
when
important.
yeah
I want you to give me, for example, about an example for equilibrium price.
uh for example, when you have uh let take cars, the market of cars as an example, when we have 100 cars and we have 100 buyers, so the price of the cars will be at the equilibrium point.
Yes. For example, 100 cars, 100 demands for actually the cars. Then, you know, for example, the price will be, I don't know, like just $1,000. This is equilibrium price. So because changes don't affect the price. So that is fair price, real price, clear price. Get it? Okay, so this is all about supply and demand. Do you have any other question that I can explain for you? Because yeah, I think I explained it briefly, but I'm not sure if, there is something else that you want to know and you want to have information about. Just let me.
No, no, I understand.
Well, I think this part is easy.
Yeah, I think it's
But
easy.
let's see. Okay, okay. So let's have more detail, maybe some useful tips about actually this demand essay and of course equilibrium price. So yeah, maybe. So if you have, of course, if you have no other questions, because this is all about it, it's not that complicated. But of course, important, really important. Of course, I'm not sure what we will discuss. Okay, so let's see. So you know the definition, so you don't need law is important, so you need to know the law. And so that is a market mechanism that we just discussed. Price is above equilibrium. That is surplus. Oh, let me write it here. Above, that is here. Okay. Surplus. Supply more than demand, prices tend to fall. And of course, the second one, that is market. So the price is below equilibrium, that is shortage, and prices rise. So, and maybe, okay, like if you wanna just have visuals for them, like diagrams. Always diagram or charts because we have. So we have a simple, just, supply demand diagram. Okay, then show like upward sloping supply, downward, upward, like something like this. And we can say that like intersection is equilibrium price. So I will send you, but just remind me if I forget, I will show you a diagram because we have, but is that not that much complicated or difficult? It's easy. It's easy to understand. So not nowhere normally upward, that is supply curve, and then we have downward, that is demand curve, something like this. And of course we have intersection, that is equilibrium price. So I will send you a diagram, then you can see this. And uh, so how to write your essay? So we have 3 minutes until 30. So let's see. How to write if you want to write an
No,
essay. Yes. Yes, what?
yeah.
What?
Yeah, yeah, no, you can consider.
Yeah, what happened? You
No,
were
actually,
busy.
no, actually,
Mr.
you can continue because I think the lesson is close. So
Oh, of course it is. No, we already finished because, of course we can start a new topic,
Mm.
but about this, we have nothing to talk about. I'm going to give you some tips for your essay. If you want to write a BTech essay about this, okay, first, that is really important that, I want to give you a good tip. I don't know why some people think that if you use some fancy word, it can boost your score. No, it doesn't. Don't. That is really important to make something natural more than like fancy. And it's really important if you provide a theory, you should give real life example because that's really, for example, you want to talk about supply and demand. You should show how supply or demand affect prices. So real life example is really important. Smartphone, car, so whatever. And of course, introduction, demand, supply, equilibrium price, real life example, conclusion, all of them should be included in your writing. That is really important. And of course, uh, if you talk about its effect, that's really important to explain because some students just only define like this. Okay, but why it matters to consumers and producers. That is really important. So if you want to talk about a fact, it's really important why. So why it matters. And of course, it's really important to keep your essay practical because you provide a theory. It's not just writing definition, it should be practical. So that's really important. So that is the key point about your essay. And that's it. For example, you want to explain equilibrium price clearly. First, with definition, you start with definition, definitely. Why it happens, why it occurs, and then effect on pricing like shortage and surplus that now I just explained. And you can add example. For example, if a smartphones cost 500 bucks, but only 100 are available for 200 demands. Yeah. Price tends to rise until demand matches supply at, can you give me the number?
Uh, Equilibrium zero.
No,
The
no,
supply meets the demand.
at. Okay, that is really
But
important. At
but
600 bucks, $600. And you know why? So let me explain. This part is really important. Let me explain. So let's see. Smartphones cost $500. Yeah,
yeah,
500. But only 100 available for demanded, for 200 demanded. 200 demanded. What happens? Price rise until demand matches supply. Demand matches supply at
six.
600. So why 600? This is my question for you. Can you explain?
Um, can I know what is the 100? No.
Okay, let me see.
So
100. Okay.
the first price
100.
is
Okay, what is 100? Company produces 100 smartphones. Yeah.
yeah,
And consumers want 200. Consumers want 200. And the current price is $500. This creates a shortage because demand is 200, supply is 100. So demand is more than supply, right? So
yeah.
it leads a shortage. And of course, prices rise. So what happened? Why I said 600? Yeah. What happens then? Actually, let me see how price adjusts. That is really important. You should know it because more people
I know.
want. Yeah. Do you know? You know? Really? Say.
No, 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 no. I know. No, I
Okay.
know it rise, but I don't
Okay.
understand.
That is really important to know it because you need it. So how prices adjust? More people want the phones than are available. So it's like buyers compete. Okay. And sellers can raise the price, right? It's a competition. Like, I want this because there are only just 100, but 200 people want. So they compete. Okay. As a seller, as a producer, I can raise the price, right? What? As the price rises, some consumers will decide not to buy. They say, okay, no, it's not fair. So demand decreases. So can you get what I'm saying? So first, as seller, I say, okay, that's good. So now I have 100 smartphones, 200 people want it. So because they want, I can raise the price, right? This is the first one. Then you are a buyer. You say, okay, why they did this? The price is not fair. I decide not to buy. What happens? For example, 50 people decide not to buy after rising. So demand decreases, right? At this
Yeah,
point, demand decreases. Now, producers are motivated to produce more. So supply, because demand decreases, now, okay, they can supply more, supply increases. So what happens? This actually continues until quantity demand equals quantity supplied. This is the equilibrium price. Now, why I said $600? Actually, I use it as a simple illustrative number. Why? To show that price rises above 500 to reduce demand, okay, and increase supply. So because of this, I said 600. Then they increase the price. Some people decide not to buy. Then, of course, they increase uh, production and producing new product. So this way, I want to say that this is a hypothetical price. I gave it because I wanted to show, to illustrate the rising number that causes this equilibrium price. Get it?
yeah.
Clear?
No, 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 not clear. Not too clear, but
Okay. So how to
so,
explain it? Okay. Let
because
me make it.
I understand that because of the demand. At the first point, the demand is higher than the supply, so
Yes.
that the producers have to higher the price.
Yeah.
But after the higher or of the price, uh, in the short term, a small quantity of the buyers have left.
Yeah, of course, they
So the
left because they
yeah,
don't want it. It's expensive. It's
so the
not
price
perfect.
decrease.
So yes, so of course, price
Yeah,
now is 600. Okay, and they say, okay, we don't want it. What is 600? This is not the price. It should be 500 because the real price. Then what happens now? They should keep it. They can't rise it. Okay, so it's okay. Now let's keep it. Demand, and some people want this price, want this 600. Want some people want it. Okay, now equals. the number of people, the number of product, and of course, this way, just